All right, the moment is here, you guys. We are in the NFC AFC Championship.
Yes.
Welcome to Sportsfellas, everyone.
It's your boy Tristan.
It's your Buckeye believing, who they hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
Here representing the Raider Nation, Big Don.
And it's going to be at your home, the Las Vegas Raiders, where Super Bowl will be at. Who's going to be there? And this is your host, Carlos. You guys, we're going to break down real quick the NFC AFC Championship. The winner will go to Las Vegas to be in Super Bowl. What number is this one?
58.
58.
I think.
Yes,
Is that
it's
right?
58. It's 58. All right, before we tune in, let's take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
All right, so we're going to start off with the AFC. We had the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Buffalo Bills. Now they will take on the number one seed in those Dirty Birds of the Baltimore Ravens, who they defeated, a young and upcoming team of the Houston Texans. Okay, so we know already that this is a great controversial game. Mahomes has been there and done that. This is his, if I'm not mistaken, Tristan, it's his sixth appearance in the AFC Championship. And, I mean, and he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. So this is nothing new to Patrick Mahomes and the gang. But now we're going against a team that's hardened. We have we have a team in the Baltimore Ravens that right now they are a Super Bowl-bound team as well. I mean, we know Harbaugh already has one. He's been there. And so we're going to kick it off with you, Don. Let's go ahead and do a breakdown here. Let's start off with the Chiefs side. For them to be at this game right now, what are the strengths that you see that they have if they're going to beat the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow?
Well, the strengths that I see is that their defense is going to have to contain Lamar. And then Patrick Mahomes' ability to run the ball. Because whenever times get tough and they keep the receivers locked down, he somehow squeaks through the cracks and takes off running for 5 to 10 yards, keeping drives alive. So that's one of the strengths that's keeping, the Kansas City Chiefs going in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the key for them this week is going to be containing Lamar. It seems like, especially at home, there's going to be a time where he's going to break off a 50-yard run, move him into a field goal position. And, of course, they have Justin Tucker, so as soon as they cross the midfield, they're in field goal range. So I think it's going to be a big task for them to really contain Lamar. It's not an easy deal. The guys from the AFC North, we've seen him a lot of times, and we try, and he still gets us. I'm not by any means a big, huge fan of the Ravens or the Harbaughs in general. But, yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I think the Chiefs need to contain Lamar, really put some pressure on him throwing from the pocket. I think that's going to be a big deal, as well as on offense, probably just getting some run time and keeping, doing kind of what everyone does to the Chiefs, which is keep keep away from Mahomes because it's a dangerous offense. Really doing that same thing. It's curious, that's hard to see because Andy Reid's not really known as a clock runner, hold the ball kind of guy. Yeah. So it'll be easier, but I think that's kind of a key for him. I think they need to focus on the run and really keeping the ball out of Lamar's hands.
Let's see, strengths. We have probably the best pass defense in the league, in my opinion. Great pass offense, and we have Pacheco, which is really good game manager if we do need to manage the clock whatsoever. So those are all our strengths, man. I feel like this year it's really, really well for us.
Those are good points, you guys. Overall, what I'm looking at this game, Patrick Mahomes indeed is the ringleader, and he's going to need everyone to get involved. We've got to make sure that everyone's on their P's and their Q's. Right now, Rashid Rice has stepped up big time. He's been an essential game changer, as well as Pacheco running the ball, and then Kelsey when he's there when you need him. But you got to make sure that Merkel Hardman, and then MVS as well. There's a lot of key players that are just going to have to step up. And then more than ever, I mean, Andy Reid, this is where he shines the most. And he's going into a hostile environment. So after they shut down Bills Mafia, Can he go into Baltimore and shut those dirty birds? Can he really do it? Because it's going to be a lot of squawking going on. Now, let's flip over to the Baltimore side. I'll start this off with you, Tristan. What do you see the strengths in their side?
Well, first off, they got a dual threat quarterback. You never know if Lamar is going to run the ball or if he's going to pass it, really, man. He's so agile, and it's insane. So their run game is really the killer here, bro. After watching the Bills game last week, man, the Bills aren't even known for running the ball that well, in my opinion, but they were running it down our throats, and it was such a long night defensively for us. So we need to do a better job of stopping the run, stopping Lamar from scrambling, and getting as many yards as he can. But he's going to make plays. We just need to minimize that as much as we can defensively. So the pass game for us, I'm not concerned about the receivers or anything. We have all pro corners around the board. So we just need to stop the run game, and that's where Baltimore excels. Also, secondly, they got a great defense. Seeing as how we played offensively last week, I'm not too concerned. I think we'll overcome that. They'll stop us here and there, but overall, their defense is elite, so we just need to take that in consideration and not turn the ball over.
Yeah, and kind of the opposite thing that I was saying about the Chiefs. Baltimore needs to not obviously contain Lamar, but unleash Lamar, so to speak. They need to get him so he's hitting a few downfield passes, force Kansas City to play a little bit off the line. That's going to open up that run that Tristan's worried a little bit about, both for the backs and, of course, they run a double, triple option with Lamar there. So I think that's going to be one of the keys on offense is Lamar playing at that MVP level that he's been playing at for a good chunk of this year. Defense, I don't know that because they're pretty stout on the line. I don't think they're going to have to focus necessarily on stopping the run. I think they're going to have to really focus on, obviously stopping Kelsey and Mahomes hook up. Mm-hmm. But Rice has been playing really well, so they're going to have to watch that back end because he's been starting to grow out of his rookie year into a full player. So yeah, I think on defense it's watch those. So.
Yeah, to add on with the Baltimore offense. Now that Mark Andrews is coming back, he might, serve as a decoy and, for the other receivers to get open. And if not, if the secondary is so concerned on the receivers, Lamar can either take off or if you got Likely also on the field, he's going to torch him. So it's like he's got a complement of weapons more than what Buffalo had last week, to go against Kansas City. And they didn't take care of the business run the ball, but whereas Baltimore, they can actually run the ball with anybody.
I got some insider here, you guys. Believe it or not, there's been a rumor that the Raven mascot is going to try to get Taylor Swift,
distract her,
get her psyched out, and so she's going to lose her mind like the Black Swan movie, and yeah, she's going to lose it. That's insider. I don't know if it's true or not, but real talk.
Kelsey lose his mind, and then
real talk. Here's the deal. Let's look on the defensive coordinator, Coach McDonald. What they're going to do is overall, they're going to take away Kelsey. They're going to be their number one deal, to take away what Patrick Mahomes relies on the most. And then also look at what if Jadeveon Clowney can repeat what Max Crosby was doing to get to Mahomes, get him out of his comfort zone, use his other options.
Pressure with the front
They
four.
have to make sure that everyone, if you're going to play, because remember, Mahomes will kill you in the zone. Mm-hmm. It's simple. 5, 10, here and there. You got to man up. It's got to be man up. Now, on the offensive side, the run game has to open up. That's why Dalvin Cook was brought over. Yep. And then Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. I feel Gus Edwards is more of the stealthier runner, and he's going to pretty much chomp up the clock. Now, I know we're talking about Mark Andrews, but he's not 100% healthy. Yeah. Let's don't forget about Likely. Mm-hmm. He has stepped up ever since Mark Andrews has been gone. Zay Flowers has rose as well. And then as well, OBJ, of course. He might hear it, but I don't think he'll be as much as of a factor. I think they'll use him more like goal line situations, try to, let's see who covers him. But I'm telling you right now, Lamar has everything going for himself because this is where he needs to be. This is from the beginning of the season. We've talked about this on this show multiple times. We have seen Lamar evolve. He's playing differently now. And finally, he's gotten the players that he's wanted. Also, he's got a team that rallies behind him, and now you have the city rallying behind because they've not been in the Super Bowl in quite a while. The last time they were there, they won. They've never lost. The last time they lost the AFC Championship was against the Patriots, but that was that year before then. They went back and they beat them. So this is the moment of truth now. I'm going to kick it off with Driss because we know who's going to pick. Who are you taking?
Of course, I'm taking Chiefs Kingdom, baby. I mean, you can't count them out. Never with Mahomes in the backfield, bro. So give me Chiefs.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is going to be. I think it's going to be a lot closer. The line right now is 4.5 points. Baltimore being the favorite. That's a little bit steep, and if you're asking me, I think this is probably going to be a field goal game. Last team to touch the ball type of deal. That's hard to count out Patrick Mahomes on that. But when it comes, I think this is going to come down to a special teams play. And for a very long time, the Ravens have consistently been at the top of the special teams game. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Not to be a hater, but I'm going to have to go with the Ravens because, to me, they're a more complete team offensively and defensively compared to what the Chiefs had to face last week. So I'm going to have to go with the Ravens.
Due to considerations of the teams, I mean, it's hard to pick against the Chiefs because that's tough. You know, I've already gave up on the Bills. So now I'm faced with this decision with the Ravens and watching my sister's granddaughter all dressed up as a Raven. I felt something special there. And I said, you know what? I think this is your year. I think this is the Ravens. And so, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. The key thing that we're going to talk about why. Because this team believes in Lamar. There's something special going on there that Lamar has turned it around. He has proven, hey, I'm worthy of the contract. He kept quiet. At first, he was doing a little too much, but he let the game talk. Look at the players that have stepped up. Since, those people were getting injured. They stepped up. They found ways to win. And then look at the key wins that they have. They took out Detroit. They took out San Francisco convincingly. Yeah. They beat a Seattle team.
Miami.
Well, they barely beat the Rams, but they still beat them.
Miami.
Yeah. The Chiefs, I'm not saying that they've had it easy at all, but got to give it to the Chiefs as well to get to where they are. This is the game that will staple Lamar. He's going to remember this game. I'm going to take the Ravens in this because conspiracy theory says he's going to be in the game. This is his time. So I will take the Ravens in this one. Let's go ahead and move on over to the NFC Championship. We have the Ravens. We had the 49ers. What a great game against the Packers last week. That was a close game, but the 49ers prevailed on that game. And it was a great game. And also, on the other side, we had the Detroit Lions coming to the NFC Championship for the first time since 1991-92 season. Now, Don, I'm going to kick this off with you. For the 49ers side, what are the strengths that you see for them if they're going to win this game?
Purdy, McCaffrey, and Kittle. And then you can't forget about Ayuk because I don't know if Debo is going to be 100% to play, but if he can catch a few passes and, not get hurt, that's going to go a long way against Detroit. And Detroit has trouble in their secondary, so if they can't get after Brock Purdy, it's going to be a nightmare for that defense. But on the other side, Detroit, they got two good receivers and, two good running backs. So it's like, Goff has been there before. So he's got the experience, to help get that team past them. So it's going to be a good game. It just depends on whether or not Detroit's defense not let it get out of control.
I mean, San Francisco's strengths, like Don said, they are so strong. Both offensive side with all the guys he mentioned, defensive. You got is Bosa? Did he get hurt?
I don't think so.
Greenlaw, though, he had a couple picks last game. It's just such a solid team, front to back. Kyle Shanahan is a wizard when it comes to offensive stuff. The defense runs like a super well-oiled machine. They've been pretty much the best of the NFC all season long. Early on it was them and Eagles. Then they had that little hiccup for the 3-game skid, losing to Bengals. Thank you. We did what we could. But then since that short 3-game skid, they've been hot. It's going to be hard to stop them. I thought maybe, having a couple of week break basically as they were locked in and sitting starters the end of the season, and then having the bye week would maybe give them a little rust. And I thought they looked a little rusty coming out of that first game, of last week's game. But by the second quarter, I mean, it was right back into it, and boom. So,
listen, strengths of the Niners, everything, bro. They have just all around. They're great players, superstars on both sides of the ball. They have a good run game, good pass game. They have a great defense, whether that's defending the run and pass. So they're just an all-around, an ideal team when you think about like the top NFL teams. So the only downside I could say is Purdy, and that's no disrespect to Purdy. I know he gets a lot of hate. He is a good quarterback, but disrupts his timing, get pressure on him a little bit, and he plays terrible. So that's the only weakness I see in the 49ers.
And I'm going to piggyback off you, Tristan, because you had some great points there. But we're going to focus on the strengths right now. And what I see right now is George Kittle has stepped up. He's having a lights out year, and I mean he's been there before, and I know he's eager to get back into a Super Bowl. And also on the other side, we have Brandon Ayuka has stepped up as well, as Don mentioned before. And we're still 50-50 on Deebo Samuel. I know he's still battling. He's nagging that shoulder injury. But you got CMC. This is a guy that was loyal to the Carolina Panthers. They let him go, went to a better home, played, where his dad won a Super Bowl there in San Francisco. So he's familiar with that. And now he can repeat that and be like, hey, I'm going to a Super Bowl. I'm that close. I'm one game away. But look at it like this. The addition of Chase Young has helped Boza big time to put that pressure. But that last week game against Green Bay, there was some concerns because Jordan Love contained himself well in such a hostile environment. And Detroit, I mean, Jared Goff has been there. When he was a Ram. So it's to him, he's
Many
already
times.
familiar. And offensively, we're going to get to Detroit in a second, that for San Francisco to do what they need to do, Tristan said it right off the bat, Brock Purdy has to stay level-headed, do his progressions, rely on the run, trust his wide receivers, trust the line that they're going to protect him so he can do what he needs to do. Now, let's flip over to the Detroit side. What a great game. Them beating the Los Angeles Rams. I had the Rams beating the Lions. I thought the Rams were going to come out and prevail. But it goes to show, Detroit Rock City, they were there. They hang strong there, and now they're going into San Francisco. So let's talk about Detroit's strengths, Don.
Yeah, right now with Detroit, you got two running backs that you can go either or. David Montgomery's more power back, straightforward, get through that hole and take off. And you got, Jameer Gibbs that you get him out in open space, he can do some damage. And then you got Amon-Ra, who tortures most secondaries anytime he touches that ball. So it's like he's got his pick of the litter. So it's like if they can't get after Goff and you give him time to throw that ball, man, it's going to be curtains for that defense.
Yeah, and I think they've really got to the Detroit defense really has to get solid. Otherwise, McCaffrey's just going to run all over. They really have to get stout. I know they're all about playing tough. I think, like Don was saying, offensively, they really got to get the running backs rolling real well. Maybe getting some swing passes to them, like Gibbs out on the wing, or even setting up some Amon-Ra slants or screen wide receiver screen, something to get the balls into those guys. St. Brown is so crazy, electric. So offensively, I think they could keep up. I'm a little worried about them defensively.
Got about Laporta too, by the way.
And they do have Laporta, and they just signed Mr. Zach Ertz. So that's championship right there, right? But I don't know that he's even going to play. Probably not. But I think defensively they've got to get stout on the run. They've got to stop McCaffrey. Yeah. I think let Brock Purdy beat you, and he can. Like, he's definitely got the weapons and some skill, but they've got to stop McCaffrey.
I agree 100% with everything that Chris just said. Offensively, that's their biggest strength. They got great weapons, young, talented team, so they got a good run and pass game. Offensively, they're fine. The defense worries me. I think they got a good pass rush and decent backs to cover the pass. But when it comes to McCaffrey in that run game, that's going to be where I think they're going to struggle a little bit. They have to solidify that and, try to stop them as much as they can, man.
Good points. And I'm going to tell you one thing. There's a name you guys didn't mention, but this is someone that's familiar with San Francisco, Josh Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds had a great game last week, and he's just that guy that just comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you need him, he's there. I mean, he's familiar with Goff. Like I said, they played together in San Francisco, in the Rams. And the thing is that right now, where we're at right now is that relying, especially on a two tight end system. You've got Ertz, and you've got also Laporte playing, and now you're at a point where this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
But what Driston said here, if the defense can't get the San Francisco offense off the field, they're going to struggle, and it's just going to be playing catch-up, and Detroit cannot be in a catch-up game.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I don't like their secondary. They give up too much in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the games against Green Bay on Thanksgiving, Minnesota. They just give up too much in the air, and then when they were torched by the Ravens, so it goes to show, like, oh man, the secondary, they're going to need help, and so now they're going to have to rely on the offense to win this game. So, the moment of truth. Driz, who do you think will advance to the Super Bowl representing the NFC?
This is a tough one. My heart goes to the Lions, but my mind don't. I got to stick with the Niners. I think it's going to be another Super Bowl 54 rematch. Chiefs versus Niners.
I'm going to go, I'm going to be rooting for the Lions. Hopefully, just like to see a different team. But I don't see them being able to stop the 49ers. I just don't think they've got the defense. Even if it's running out to the side, I don't think their cornerbacks can quite do it. Now, if it comes down to a field goal, I don't know. That Niners kicker's been a little shaky. So maybe they have a chance, but I think it's going to be the Niners.
I think I'm going to go against the grain here and think Detroit is going to be able to control that line of scrimmage. I think they're going to take the game. Because they got two running backs and Laporta, and they got the offense to do it. If the defense can just control the line of scrimmage and don't let him sit back there in that pocket all day, I'm going to go with the Lions.
I agree with Driz. My heart goes out to Detroit. And if this is not their year, they just need to add up and focus on the next year. If we're going to go on script, we already know it's going to be San Francisco. Now, let's just say that it would be San Francisco and Kansas City. This is a different San Francisco team. They have
McCaffrey.
Well, and
We
not
beat
just McCaffrey,
last year, so.
but overall,
Not in the last Super Bowl,
overall,
though.
I still, like I said, I'm still sticking. It's going to
He
be
wasn't there the last.
It's going to be
time they
another
played.
Super Bowl
But he
rematch,
was
but
there
this
last
time
year,
it's going to
during
be
the season.
this time it's going to be the Ravens. It's going to be the Ravens and 49ers.
Okay.
So, for now, you've got Chiefs and 49ers,
Yes.
and Kansas City would win. You have Ravens and 49ers.
Same, Everett has the same as well.
Okay,
Ravens
yeah.
and Niners.
Hey, we miss you, Everett, by the way. So you taking the Ravens,
Yeah, I have
Okay.
Ravens and Niners.
I'm going with Ravens and Lions.
and who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Ravens.
Okay, I'll take Ravens and Niners. I've got the Ravens winning it. But we will come back. We will have a Super Bowl preview, you guys. We will do a live giveaway. And so what we'll do is, so for all the people that have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, we're going to go live. So therefore, tune in. And like I said, we want to get involved with you guys. We will take questions. And like I said, interact with you guys.
I think we should do like one or two of the Pro Bowl skills competitions ourselves.
That's a hardcore no. Okay.
It's like tag and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's silly
gosh.
stuff.
Get out of here. That's a waste of time. They might as well just sign autographs. But all right. Hey, Tristan, any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to Chiefs Kingdom.
Shout out to my boy Everett. Sorry we missed you today.
Hey, shout out to the fellas here just coming out, being out here representing the Raiders.
Yeah, they'll be sitting back watching the game at home. But all right. So it's okay because they're in Vegas, so they don't have to go anywhere. They can just sit back and contemplate. But you guys, hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for making this fun. Man, we're one more game, you guys, and then the Sportsfellas show will take a quick pause, and then we'll get back into basketball season. I know Don and I, we can work on that, and then we'll do a little bit more on March Madness. But I know Driz is going to sit back, hang out for a little bit, and then he'll be on our Vice and Silver Cosmo movie reviews. We got to get back onto that. Until then, you guys, we'll see you on the next Super Bowl show. So stay tuned for those free giveaways. We're out.